think it's really interesting that I'm starting this vlog on a day where my nose is genuinely so red that I could pass easily as Rudolph. I have seen this around countless times. I know that Sam from Griff Reads did something like this quite recently. I think Brie has done it. I think Michelle has done it. There's a couple of people that I have seen this idea on. It's in no way an original thought because I've never had one of those. But I am going to read Christmas books until I come across a 5-star Christmas read. I am starting a little bit early. Today is the 23rd of November. I am starting with my Christmas reading a little bit early because I want to get in that Christmas feeling. It's Thanksgiving in the US, but we don't have Thanksgiving over here in Europe. It's not a thing in Ireland. It's definitely not a thing in Germany, but it feels like the now is the time to get started on my Christmas reading. So I am going to do just that. I am going to start this vlog with All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. I read their first book, The Holiday Swap, last year around this time of year, and I really enjoyed it. It was such a great book. It was about two twins who kind of like trade places and swap lives and all that. And it had like a reality TV side plot feeling to it because it was set on like a baking reality TV show. One of the twins was like a judge on that baking show. And the second book from them is also set in a reality TV show, but this time it's set on something like The Voice or The X Factor or The Masked Singer or like one of those singing shows. So this is about, I think their names are Stella and Max, or Sadie and Max. They are two contestants on Star Search, and they don't get along very well, but they are paired up together for like a romantic duets week. I'm really interested to see what song they're going to do, because I've got a couple of ideas in my head that they might go into, but their chemistry when they're doing that song is so great that the producers are kind of like thinking about cashing in on this and saying, okay, well, you guys are going to pretend to be like a couple. You're going to pretend that you met each other on the set of this show and that was it. It was like violins and Cupid and heart eyes, when actually nothing could be further from the truth. But they are given the ultimatum that if they don't do this, if they don't pretend to be in love with each other, they are going to get booted out of the show, which rude. And I am gonna start it now. I'm on lunch. I'm gonna start it now. I'm gonna give it my best shot. Let's see if we can knock this out of the park already with our first book being a 5-star. It is freezing cold here, so I am wearing my blanket scarf. I have gotten to about 41% of All I Want for Christmas, and I think I need to DNF it. It's not a book that I am in any way enjoying. I feel like there's too much miscommunication happening for this book to be believable. And I also feel like the Star Search that we were doing is only taking up such a small little portion of this book. I wanted it to take up the vast majority of it, but that's already over by now. So I'm going to move on. That was not our first 5-star book. Hopefully this will be. This is Just Like Magic by Sarah Hogle. I've put it on a couple of TBRs, and I think now is actually the time to get to it. It is a little bit chunky. It's about 350 pages, and I haven't read a physical book in a really, really long time. So this is going to be a slight little adjustment for me. But this also has something to do with All I Want for Christmas Is You, in that is the song that the main character accidentally plays backwards and then summons the ghost of like the Christmas spirit when she is not living the Christmas dream anymore. So let's see how this one goes. Hopefully I'm going to get on a little bit better with it. And also hopefully I'm going to get on a little bit better than I did with You Deserve Each Other, which I have DNF'd now 3 times, I think. So let's see if this one goes a bit better. Massive spot on my face and a voice that has been severely impacted by a cold means that this is going to be a very, very short update. I DNF'd Just Like Magic last night. This vlog is going in absolutely no way the direction that we wanted it to go. I just wasn't reaching for it. And when I stop reaching for books, it's not a good sign. When I don't go automatically when I'm sitting on a bus to my book rather than to my phone, it's kind of a death toll for the book. But now I'm going on to one that I think genuinely will be the winner. And that one is Love Like Farms by B.K. Barrison. This is the start of a new series. I think this is the only Christmassy book in the series. And I think this is a good level of spice that I want for a Christmas book. And I'm also going to be buddy reading this with Lily. I have owed her maybe 2 buddy reads already in the last couple of weeks. So I promise this one is going to be one that I'm buddy reading with her. I've even set it up on Storygraph so that we can like share our ideas and swap our thoughts. That's how committed to the bit that I am. And I swear to God, this has to be the 5-star. This has to be it. Because I'm running out of ideas if it's not. I don't know where I'm going to go if this is not the 5-star read. Pray for me. I'm about to go out to a Christmas market for the day, on the journey to which I will be bringing Love Life Farms with me. I should have checked in when I was roughly 50% in. That's on me. But I think we've got it. I am about 40 pages from the end. And unless something really, really drastic happens, this is the 5-star read I was hoping it to be. And I was also hoping it because I wanted to read the rest of the series too. I knew that they weren't very Christmas central, but I wanted to read them anyway, not necessarily this time of the year. And I think we've got it. My only concern and my only gripe is that it doesn't feel very Christmassy. It doesn't really feel like it's set at Christmas, despite it being on a Christmas tree farm. That is probably my one and only concern with this book. But other than that, I'm having a phenomenal time. When I'm actually finished it, I will talk you through what I ended up giving it on Cawpile and see if it actually did come out to that 5-star that we were hoping and dreaming it to be. But so far, it's looking kind of likely. We're finished the book. I ran it through Cawpile last night when I came home, and we have averaged at a 4.5. For characters, I gave it an 8 because I did genuinely really enjoy everyone that was in this book. There wasn't anyone that I didn't enjoy reading. There wasn't anyone that, if we were spending a little bit of time with them, I was speeding through the book to kind of get past what we were talking about with them. I would have really liked to have seen a little bit more from Luca's point of view. We do see 2 chapters. We see a retelling of chapter 21 from his point of view, which is where the 3rd act breakup occurred. And we also see a chapter just before the epilogue, also from Luca's point of view, which I really enjoyed. And I think I would have liked to see a little bit more from his side of the action. For atmosphere, I gave it an 8 because, as I said, it was really good. It was really an entertaining read, and it felt like it was taking place in a small town. I did feel the small town vibes, but I didn't feel the Christmassy vibes. I didn't feel like this was taking place in Christmas. I didn't feel like we were in the read up to that. There were a couple of scenes where it did feel like Thanksgiving, but it could have also just taken place in August. For the writing, I gave it an 8. I felt like it was also really engaging. As I said, I wasn't skipping through any parts to get to this other part of the story. Instead, I was actually genuinely engaged with the book the whole time. Usually, if the writing is not great, I will just find myself skipping pages ahead and like skim reading, but I didn't do any of that throughout the entire book. For the plot, I also gave it an 8 because I genuinely was invested in what was happening. I wanted to find out what was happening between Stella and Luca. I wanted to find out what was happening with these people. And overall, I just felt like the plot was enjoyable and engaging to me. Intrigue, I also gave it an 8, but I think I probably could have given it higher because I had made some guesses and some suggestions as to what I thought was happening at some points of the book and what I thought would happen with the 3rd act breakup and why I thought this person was important in this part of the story. And then I wanted to find out if I was correct, and I wanted to find out if that was actually what had been happening or if it was going down a different point of view. Logic, I gave it a 7 based only on the 3rd act breakup, which I thought was one of the dumb ones that I've read recently. Didn't make sense, didn't add up, kind of went a whole different way to the story. It was quickly resolved, but it just didn't make any sense. Then, enjoyment overall, I gave it a 9. I was really invested in the story. I was really invested in the relationship. I loved the writing. I loved the characters. I loved the setting. Just could have had a little bit more Christmassy atmosphere to make it feel like a Christmas book for me. I don't know if it did make sense that I kept it until so late in December. I could have read it early-ish November, mid-November even, to try and like slowly kickstart my reading and transition from regular books to Christmas books, but I had a good time anyway. We have finally found it. I gave it a 4.5, as I said, which I've rounded up on Goodreads and on the Storygraph to a 5-star. We are really cutting it fine because this is supposed to go out on Thursday. Today's a Monday. We're cutting it a little bit fine with this vlog, but we got there in the end. I have got another book just lined up, Make You Mine This Christmas by Lizzie Huxley Jones, and I think that might also be either a high 4.5 or a 5 itself. But let's see how that goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.